Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Ayana Ajeen. Thank you for joining us on today's CAIR on Air. We have a special show here for you today about a situation that happened in New Jersey. Now, this happened a few days ago, but we're still getting details figured out. So we wanted to bring our CAIR-New Jersey's executive director, Brother Salahuddin. He's on with us today to talk to us about the case. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam, Sister Ariane. I'm doing alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. But before we get into that, I do want to remind everyone that we have an event coming up this Sunday. Sunday is going to be the anniversary of Brother Malcolm X's is going to be the anniversary of Brother Malcolm X's martyrdom. And we are having an event. It's going to be called In the Room with Malcolm. So we're going to be featuring activists who actually knew Malcolm and worked with him. We're going to be featuring them and learning from them. And we're also going to have modern activists who are carrying on his legacy. And this is going to be part of our Black History Month campaign, the Upon Their Shoulders campaign. So we've mentioned that a few times, giving everyone the chance to submit quotes about activists, modern activists, and people from the past who they think are contributed to Black civil rights in this country. So I will be putting those links in the comment section. But before we move forward, I do want to play the video for the event that's happening on Sunday.
But these particular Muslims didn't call themselves white. They looked upon themselves as human beings, as part of the human family, and therefore they looked upon all other segments of the human family as part of that same family. So I said that if Islam had done that for them, perhaps if the white man in America would study Islam, perhaps it could do the same thing for him.
So we're really looking forward to that event. And some of the speakers that we're going to have are Dr. Ahmed Usman and Sister Aisha Al-Adawiya, as well as CAIR speakers such as Brother Dawood Walid and Brother Nihad Awad and Edward Ahmed Mitchell. So we are going to have a great panel of speakers who knew Malcolm and modern activists who are carrying on his legacy. So please tune in for that. I'm going to drop the events, the Facebook event link in the comments, so you can share that and make sure that you tune in. So now we can get into the event or the incident that happened in New Jersey. Brother Salahuddin, can you tell us a little bit about the assault?
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe you have a video, and once we see the video, what you'll notice is that there is a police officer, police officer car that drives in front of an individual that we come to know as Osama al-Saidi. Osama was walking towards his vehicle so that he can go to work. And he got stopped by these police officers. And once they exit the car is when everything happens, right? So they quickly kind of bullish approach towards him. And then there's a quick exchange that we see in the video coming from a surveillance camera by a local store. And within seconds of communicating with him, they put their hands on him, and automatically you see one of the officers on the right side lands about 10 punches to the head. And it's actually really hard to count because it's going so fast.
Yeah.
And it quickly, goes down. They tackle him to the ground. One officer is sitting on him. And then while he's still on the ground, the other officer again lands 3 or 4 more punches. And Osama is just like in shock. He's like, why are these officers approaching me? Why are they attacking me? It was very much unprovoked. Osama was not threatening in any way. It was just a very unusual circumstance. And Osama ended up having to go to the hospital that night. And he had a concussion. And he had migraines and jaw pain for weeks. And as you can see in the pictures that some have seen online, he had pretty bad cuts and bruises throughout his head. So yeah, our office called for the termination of the 2 officers and an investigation into the involvement. But yeah.
So I'm gonna play the video, and it is a difficult video to watch, but so just a warning.
Well, 2 police officers in New Jersey are under investigation for the alleged assault of a 19-year-old man back in December. The assault was caught on store security camera in Paterson. You can see the young man walking down the street when police pull up and start attacking him and then beat him to the ground. The Council on American Islamic Relations said the attack was unprovoked. CAIR says that the officers then allegedly covered up their assault until the video surfaced almost 2 months later. CAIR says the 19-year-old was diagnosed with head trauma and a concussion.
So that video is a little blurry, but I think you can still make out that the officers just approached him, and without very unprovoked, as you said, nothing happened to result in their violence and how aggressive they were to him.
Exactly, and not only that, what adds insult quite literally to injury is that the report that they had filed for this case, if you read it line for line and you watch the video, it's almost 2 different stories happening. Yeah. The report says that he had his clenched fist and he was approaching the officers, and he was the instigator, and that he had. Yeah, it was like, yeah. And then that begs the question of, where would we be today if it wasn't for the video?
That's exactly what I was thinking, that a lot of, and we've seen this a lot with other cases, that the only reason that they actually stick or pick up traction is because there is a video, and that's really unfortunate that you need that, you need the evidence over the victim's word, but in this case, alhamdulillah, we have that.
Alhamdulillah.
But I do know that there was another similar incident in New Jersey. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, it's actually it makes this case that much more alarming, actually. So 2 weeks prior to Osama's incident, there was another incident that actually, according to the police reports, happened by the same officer to a different teen in the same city. So another Paterson police officer, the same Paterson police officer that assaulted Osama, also assaulted an individual by the name of Rosward Hernandez 2 weeks prior to Osama's incident. And in that case, there is no video footage, but that individual has an attorney, and he's working to get his charges dropped, and he's working to have a civil suit as well, same as Osama's. But it just goes to show that there are officers out there that can get away with police brutality. And only until we have video footage, like we have in Osama's case, are we able to bring them to justice. And but yeah.
Thank you for that. And again, alhamdulillah, in this case, that we do have that evidence. And thank you to CAIR-New Jersey, because I don't think this case would have become as as public, but you guys did a very good job making sure that media knew about it. And I think that that's going to play a big role in getting justice, right? Like when more people know about the injustice, and it seems like people are very frustrated with what happened. Yeah. So thank you to you guys for actually making sure that this case was widespread and well known.
Of course. And if I could say one other thing too, we were happy to break the story, and we were happy to bring it to the attention of the Paterson Police Department and to the public as well, and shine some light on the reoccurring issues that are happening. But one point of clarification that seems to have gotten lost, between the communication since we issued the press release Friday, is that the incident happened in Paterson. There was a miscommunication with some people thinking that it happened in South Plainfield, where our office is located. But of course, the incident was very far from South Plainfield. It happened in Paterson with Paterson police officers, and the 2 officers are still unidentified. We still don't have the exact identities of both of the officers, so we're still pending the investigation. But once the investigation comes out, and the investigation, we're hoping, is transparent and thorough from the AG's office, and once we have the facts, then whoever is found guilty of the aggravated assault and the official misconduct of falsifying the reports, that the AG's office take action against those that are found guilty, and the officers that did participate in those crimes be held accountable. So yes, it was in Paterson, and unfortunately, it is a reoccurring issue in Paterson. And then we're hoping to continue combating these issues every time they come up. And we will continue to, call out police brutality, whether it's happening to a Muslim or an African American or Latino or anyone. It's unacceptable. And our office is here to defend those that are looking for our help.
Was there, and this is somewhat a question from the comments, I'm paraphrasing, but was there a hate crime, or it seemed to have been a hate crime motive in the attack?
At this point in time, the investigation is still ongoing, so it's hard to say. There's no evidence that suggests that. It seems as if the officers, had prior issues. They were upset with Osama, supposedly. But really, there is no indication as to why they really approached him. It was just, it made no sense. And that's what Osama's been saying, and that's what the attorneys have been saying, and that is, it was entirely unprovoked. It was Osama didn't do anything to trigger that violence. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's very clear from the video. But thank you, Brother Salahuddin, for coming and speaking to us about that. And again, for making sure the incident is widely publicized and people know that this happened. But again, I just want to remind everyone of the event on Sunday for Black History Month, the In the Room with Malcolm X, where we're going to have speakers who actually knew Malcolm and talking to us about what they learned from him and carrying on his legacy. So I've put the Facebook event link in the comments. So inshallah, we hope to see you guys there. It will be on our Facebook page and our YouTube page Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So inshallah, looking forward to seeing everyone. Again, thank you, Brother Salahuddin, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum.